Hi, it's Ted Nash, saxophonist. I play with the Jazz Lincoln Center Orchestra. I'm here to talk to you about practicing. Practicing is extremely important. I know that one thing is that sometimes you're like, well, what do I practice? How do I get inspiration to practice? People ask me this all the time. They say, how do I get inspired to practice? If you need to be inspired to practice, then you might as well just go do something else, because it's not all about inspiration. A lot of times it's just the simple thing about taking the horn out of the case. If you find that you're not inspired to practice, this is inspiration enough. Take the case, put it on your lap, open it up, put the neck strap on, put the mouthpiece on, and hold it. All right? That's your first lesson. All right? I want you to do that for 1 week. Once you've mastered that, I want you to actually start playing some music. All right? Don't worry about inspiration. You will be inspired. When you start playing well, you're going to be very, very inspired. We've talked about making this an extension of you. Now, there's a lot of things that we can do to start to apply that to working on harmony and technique. It's very important that you do a practice routine that covers many, many bases, right? And you need to kind of give equal time to a lot of things. You need to practice your sound. You need to practice your technique. You need to practice harmonic progressions and scales and all of that. Because this is all the stuff that when you put it together gives you fuel to play. So a good place to start is to just take a scale. Like say, today I want to work on a G melodic minor scale. It's a scale that you can use in many, many situations. And it has a nice sound. I just like it. The scale, for me, a G melodic minor sounds like this. Now this is a melodic minor scale. It's the same going up as it is going down. In classical music, a lot of times you change it as you come down, and that's kind of a theoretical thing. But this is just for the purpose of this. We're going to keep it the same scale. There's many things we can do with that scale. It's not just let's practice the scale. It's like, okay, I've done that. No, there's so much you can do. You can take one scale and you can make a whole day of practice out of that. Part of practicing is figuring out, and part of being creative is figuring out how to practice, applying your own creativity to design your own practice routine. Think about what it is I want to work on. I want to work on my sound. All right, take that scale, work on your sound. If I want to get bigger sound, I can drop my jaw a little bit, open up my throat. And so, instead of pushing, think how round you can play. I just use that scale. I didn't use anything else. Expression. Sound and expression are very close, but expression has a lot to do with how you phrase, how you go from one note to another, your vibrato. Take any note of that scale. Try different ways of vibratoing and try playing different volumes. Find where you can bend notes. Certain notes you can bend really well into each other. Experiment with your horn. Find those kind of things, because that's what gives you a personal sound, is a way that you play, the way you phrase, the way you go from one note to another. That's you. You're the only one who's going to do it like that. Another thing is to just make melodies. Practice thinking of melodies. Because even if you're playing a fast song or you're playing an extended solo, making melodies is always an important part of what you play as an improviser. Coming back to melody, coming back to blues. So take that scale. Now we're just going to make melodies. Spend a minute or two. Right? There's no right or wrong. It's not like, well, that was good, that was bad. No, you don't judge yourself, you just play. Another thing is, take that scale and create some patterns. Kind of makes your mind think a little bit when you create a pattern. So if I say, I could start down low, it doesn't have to be on the G. Go throughout the entire register of the horn, go up and down. Try a couple different ones. Be creative with it. And notice I'm not just playing the notes flat. I'm actually creating a melody every time I play it. Practice making music every time you play. Another thing is to do is just take that scale, set a metronome, feel it, try to hear the drums, try to hear the beat, and just improvise, only using that scale. Right? So force yourself into some new areas. Try to make yourself come up with some new things. So that's a great way to have a base for your practicing routine. Take a scale. Take one scale for that day. Spend about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, just what I did. Create melodies, create your own little exercises, and improvise. Next time you have to use that scale, you're going to be much more familiar with it. So I look forward to talking to you more about music. This is Ted Nash, and enjoy music.